Welcome everyone, this is Jamesrise, going to bring you, special ladies and gentlemen, a new video today. And today, we are going to talk about the top 5 things I think we should be taught, what we should learn as we grow up. From like, maybe 5, maybe 3 to like 16, 3, 16, 17. Between those times, we should definitely learn these. So, here's my top 5. So number 5, this is a huge one. It's nutrition and wellness. I think it's huge, probably from the ages of 4 to like 8. In that time frame, we should learn and we should know where we get our food, what we are putting in our bodies. I think it's so huge because I think I had a blindfold over my eyes for the longest time. I generally knew where things came from. Yes, I knew like apples come from trees and certain vegetables come from the earth, but the knowledge of how that food gets to us through grocery stores, or whether we obviously if we have those plants in our backyard, we obviously know where it comes from. But I think if we do buy from the bulk, it comes from the grocery store, I think we should know how it's treated, if there's pesticides in our fruits and vegetables, if we should get organic, if we should just get the regular fruits or vegetables. I think we should know the difference between organic and non-organic, how the pesticides are used to make these fruits and vegetables less likely to be like ridden by, outside forces like insects or so what. And the organic way, which is like non-lethal pesticides used naturally grown and stuff like that. I think we should know the difference in what we are putting in our bodies. It's huge, especially the animal agriculture, like how that meat is put to our plate, like how exactly we know that meat is getting to our plate. I knew like how it was getting to my plate. Like I knew there was slaughter, but there's always this sense of humane slaughter, and then slaughterhouses aren't so bad as you think until you start watching these videos and see truly how these animals are killed. I think that'll change the perspective on a lot of people on their chances of wanting to support this business or not. I guarantee if I learned this and I was like, eyes are open to this way earlier on, I've been vegan far much earlier in my life, because it's just crazy. I think these things are vital for us, because these things are that we are consuming and putting in our bodies, and we only have this one body, and it's important for us all to treat our bodies right. We have that choice to. So I think it's a necessity to have that information in our hands and to be fed to us. And not just in nutrition class and every once in a while as we grow up and we go to school. I think we should get the full-blown knowledge as we grow older, and how it's really brought to us. Food, it's essentials. We all eat it. We must learn how it's made, how it's brought to us. That's number 5. Number 4, this is a huge one. Self-healing, massaging, I believe is huge. A lot of people don't know how to massage, or don't know a lot about self-healing and just giving the right kind of energy to somebody. I think massaging is, especially as you grow older and you get a partner, I think it's essential that you have that self-healing in your grasp and in your knowledge on how to help one another. You see it in like the primates, and you see it in the wildlife, how other animals nurture each other and have that sense of awareness of how to do so. I think we should have that as well, and we should be taught how to massage correctly, help each other, heal each other, because we are in the age of where most people are sitting a lot, most people are standing a lot, most people are, exerting energy, whether they work out or they have a heavy labor job. I think it's essential for us to know the body well and able to heal one another, heal ourselves, able to massage ourselves, or fumble ourselves, things like that. I think it's essential, because a lot of my clients, when I talk to them about their partners or who they're with currently, and I ask them, can they help you, can they massage you, and most of them, 90% of them, say they probably can't, or don't do it well, or just or lack of motivation to do so. They don't see the importance of doing self-healing or helping their partner out and relieving stress in their body and those muscles. And then if that's left untreated, the body gets tense, and it just goes down a path of just nothing good, of toxic muscles essentially. That's why stretching is important, massaging is important, and we should definitely implement those into our daily lives. And having the importance of massaging, stretching, self-healing, growing up from the age that we are able to recognize and see the importance of doing so, even if we aren't tense at that age in our lives. I think it's essential for us. Meditation is great as well. That's another self-healing thing that we should definitely all learn, meditating. So that's number 4. Number 3, how to be independent. Just how a mother bird pushes its baby bird when the time is right off the nest so it could fly, so it could learn to spread those wings and fly. I think it's essential for humankind to learn how to be independent, how to be self-aware, how to truly love yourself and finding yourself. I think a lot of people growing up get dependent on either their parents or a loved one at the time, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it might be, a partner. They get dependent with that person, so they leave their parents and then essentially go to something else, another connection, another bond. I don't think they really get that individuality that I think we all need. We must find ourselves. I think that is so huge in life. Find out what we want. Find out what your soul needs to thrive. I think it gets kind of blocked when you jump from relationship to relationship. And I think it's essential if we teach our kids or teach the youth growing up how to be independent and think for themselves. It's essential. I would tell my kids, listen up. When you get to that point of, 16, 17, and you start thinking more for yourself, I think it's essential that you stay single. You find what makes you happy and just grow from that. And if you do end up in a relationship, it goes well, deal with it. Go along with it. Enjoy that time. Sure, all first relationships aren't going to work out. And this is what I preach to people who had a long relationship with one another, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was, invested with somebody. Not to jump into another relationship. Have a time for yourself, whatever it is. I say minimal 3 months where you are single. 6 months even better, where you are just single and you are just finding yourself. Finding what makes you tick, finding what makes you truly happy. I think time will reveal that, and being alone and maybe not going out so much. Maybe not hanging out with your friends all the time. Finding some alone time to yourself, and I think that's when the body really thrives, and that's when the mind churns even faster, because you're alone, you're with yourself, you're only with your thoughts. And I think you are forced, and it's easier to tap into things that are going to make you happy, goals that you wanted to do for a long time are easily attainable that way. And you see the lane open up and you say, I could do this. If I just invest the right time, take time to myself, and really go for it. Because I think if we surround ourselves with people who just want to hang out or drink or whatever, I think there's lost potential there. There's always a time and a place for it. But if you're doing it every single weekend, you're never going to get to truly find who you are, and you're never going to be able to attain what you're meant to do in this world. Attain your goals that you always wanted to attain. So a sense of independency and not being dependent on friends or even family all the time. Just being dependent on who you are, I think you will go great places. I'm not saying that you don't ever have to be dependent, but I think it's so important that we find our self-independence first and love ourselves before we can ever love anyone else. That is important. And we know our self-worth every single day and what we deserve out of life and from anyone else. That was number 3. Number 2, this is a huge one, taxes. As you grow older, I think from 13 to 18 that we learn a lot about taxes. And when we start getting the workforce, how we either gain money from taxes. Maybe we get taxed too much throughout the year, or you get taxed regularly through your paychecks, or if you're an entrepreneur and you don't get taxed, how much taxes you do have to pay at the end of the year, or bi-quarterly or quarterly, whether you're paying taxes like that. I think it's essential that we learn how taxes work, why do we have to pay the IRS and stuff like that, and why they're taking money from us, and how we could essentially work the system so that we're not getting taxed so much yearly. I think that's important to learn, and definitely what I jumped in to when I opened my business, got my LLC, and started doing taxes yearly. Now I'm doing it quarterly. So I'm just paying my taxes throughout the year instead of having a big chunk change come out of my wallet at the end of the year. I think it's important that we have those options and we know how to do so. It's important because at the end of the day, if you're paying quarterly, you save on the amount that you have to give to the IRS. And the importance of paying taxes and the benefits of, if you donate or if you get, things are tax write-off if you have your own business. I think it's important that we know that and have that knowledge in our grasp. So that was number 2. So number 1, breathing. I watched a video earlier. I wanted to do a solo video on breathing, but I believe that this is the most essential thing. I was watching a video. I'm not going to get too in depth because I do want to make a solo video about breathing. But our breath is something that is with us from the minute that we are born to the second that we die. We have our first breath and we have our last breath. Our breath never changes. That is something that we have from our beginning to the end. Everything material, everything in between, goals, toys, cars, houses, all that diminishes. That's just nothing from in between, because things don't like that stay around forever. But our breath, from the beginning to the end, are always with us. So learning how to breathe correctly, meditating to our breaths, I think is essential. And learning how we could breathe, whether we work out, whether we're stressed out, how to breathe and get out of that situation, or breathe and make the most of our workouts, or just breathe just to be lively and be more energized. Our breath is so huge, and I don't know why it's not taught in the public schools, or our parents don't teach us. Mine didn't. I'm sure some do that are heavy into yoga, heavy into spirituality, like getting really in touch with your soul, aligning the chakras, stuff like that. I think probably those parents are teaching their kids, or monks are teaching their students how to breathe. Breath, it's everything. It keeps us living. And you find the importance if you're ever in the situation where you were in the situation where you're about to drown. I mean, you're held underwater too long. Your body yearns and jolts you for that wanting to breathe and wanting that breath of fresh air. It's such an importance to us. And I think that we all should learn how to breath. That's my number 1. All right, guys. This has been my top 5 video on things that we all should learn growing up and what should be taught growing up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys, maybe you could relate, or maybe just add a few of your things that you think should be your top 5. This has been my top 5. I'm not saying it's the go all, but it's just something important to me that I wish I learned growing up more. All right, guys, stay risen, stay rising. Till next time.